When the news broke that Diddy had been sentenced to just over 4 years in federal prison, the music world froze. Reactions poured in from everywhere: fans, critics, even old industry rivals. But one voice cut through all the noise: Suge Knight. And he is not happy.
Done. I mean, that's the first time in history that a person going to get sentenced and they can actually put on a campaign like they're running for the president of the United States, where they can show videos and pretty much everything. Only thing I was waiting on was the fact that I was waiting on him to bring out the DJ and start playing music and let him do what he do best: dance and shake that ass. And Mike, not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was you really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, "Oh, he's gonna run," he's not. It's the reason why these type of people get caught up. They always been feeling they bigger than the law because they part of the law.
From behind bars, the former Death Row Records boss didn't hold back. Suge said he'd seen a lot in his life: the streets, the studios, the courts. But what happened in Diddy's sentencing stunned even him. In his eyes, this wasn't justice as most people know it. It was privilege wrapped in a courtroom.
And the other side of it is that, well, the sad side of it is that I couldn't believe that not one of his baby mothers came in to support him or testify. And I was surprised by that because that shows a lot about the character. I know if I was on the stand, if I was up there, at least a few of my baby mamas, at least one for sure, would come have something good to say.
To someone like Suge, who spent decades inside the system, that kind of treatment felt unheard of. He remembered his own day in court. No cameras, no sympathetic letters, no chance to explain his side. Just a few words from the judge and the sound of a gavel that changed everything.
I never got the chance to put on a real defense. I had a paid attorney, was fired by the judge to give me a public pretender, and so I could not fire that man. And that man told me that I had to take a deal. Because I went to trial, I was going to lose. They threatened me to take a deal, and many other people. But that's just how it goes. One thing we got to learn how to do is enjoy your own motherfucking life and fight for yourself. And you don't have to wish bad on others to make yourself better.
But Suge didn't sound bitter, more reflective. He said Diddy's sentence was a blessing for him and his family. 4 years meant his kids would still get their father back. His mother would still get to hug her son again. To Suge, that was something to celebrate, even if he didn't think the sentence matched the crimes. Still, he couldn't ignore the imbalance. Diddy, one of the richest and most powerful figures in music, walked away with a sentence that some inmates would call light time. Suge pointed out that people doing less time for smaller crimes, even petty theft, often end up forgotten by the system, serving decades with no attention, no mercy, and no shot at rebuilding their lives.
So you feel like they took it easy on him, giving him 50 months?
Absolutely. That's probably one of the best deals for decades and decades and decades. This is the first time a black man won without a strong black woman. They wasn't worried about Mandela making all those power moves. It was about his wife making all those power moves. On the chessboard, the king is the most important piece. But the queen is the only piece to move all around the board to make sure the king grows and stay who he is. So he definitely, that's the deal of the centuries, of the decades and decades and decades and decades. You know how many people, you know how many black men doing life? Life was out. Some of them on the real death row. Some of them, a guy who steals a pizza get more time than Puffy. And other attorneys will not fight for a guy who stole a piece and got life, but they'll fight for the guy who destroyed the women's mind. And it's a situation where anybody can make mistakes. Anybody can do wrong. But you got to be accountable what you did wrong for. But it's a situation where a person step on some shit, some dog shit. They can wipe it on the grass and where they can't see the shit. But that shoe still smells like shit.
And that's what really bothered him. Suge's message wasn't just about Diddy. It was about how America's justice system works differently when fame and influence are involved. He said he's seen countless people go through the system who didn't have Diddy's resources, lawyers, or network of support. Those people never get recommended to facilities with rehabilitation programs or comfortable visitation setups.
R. Kelly situation was not bad as Puffy's situation. And they kicked R. Kelly square in his ass. And they gave Puffy a hug.
So you feel that Diddy got special treatment?
It was definitely a special treatment. When I was getting sentenced, my mother wanted to speak, my family wanted to speak, and they wouldn't allow no one to speak at all. I wasn't allowed to speak. I wasn't allowed to do nothing. And I don't think anyone else is allowed to do that. I know this. That judge, he didn't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck about those women because they feel there's some and the script was already written and said. You can tell that when the prosecution didn't go for 20 years or 10 years. They went for 11 years because they know they had no way to win because it was already written to what the outcome was going to be. You can go all the way back. You'll never find no one getting sentenced. They get allowed to make a video of themselves, of their family. They let the judge know why he shouldn't get the punishment he's supposed to get. They can bring up a 2-year-old little girl of his, which we supposed to always love the kids, and make it about her. What about Cassie kids? What about these other women kids? For the rest of Cassie's life, she got to walk real soft.
Still, Suge believes Diddy's celebrity might actually shield him to some extent. If the Bureau of Prisons sends him to FCI Fort Dix, the facility his lawyers requested, it's not exactly a rough place by federal standards. It's a low-security prison, more like a small, controlled community. There are dorm-style units, open spaces, and programs like RDAP, the Residential Drug Abuse Treatment Program, which can shorten sentences for those who qualify. This place is one of the few real chances inmates have to rebuild themselves. But it's also a place where discipline is tested. The system watches everything. And Gene Deal believes Diddy has a lot to answer for and a lot to deal with.
You think Diddy is strong enough to do 2 years?
I just told you, bro. Kirk Burroughs, Lil' Kim. There's a lot of other people in the music industry that done federal time.
Because you told me he was suicidal. That's why I asked.
Everybody's suicidal when they first go to prison. Everybody's suicidal. If you've never been to prison before, you've never been behind bars, everybody is suicidal. Then you get used to it. It becomes your livelihood. You learn how to stay alive. You got a crust of bread in the corner to sleep in. Everything else is a blessing. It was something that was powerful that Diddy said. He said to the judge, he said, I can't change the past, but I can change the future. As if that he knew if the judge would let him out today, that he was going to do some things that was going to be powerful, whether it's in the industry, whether it was in this new life that he said he was going to do with the drug treatment programs, with the domestic violence. See, that's the avenue that he probably used now. You know what I'm saying? Get into, because he can't go back to the music industry because he wasn't doing nothing in the music industry anyway. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would have him marketed anything unless it's Astroglide and Baby Oil. So he can't do the marketing thing right now. So he may be trying to look at the drug treatment programs and setting up different type of nonprofit agencies. You understand? Because them people make a whole lot of money on government grants, federal grants, state grants, city grants. So that might be his new avenue. Because he said he can't change the past. He's recognizing that, and he's going to look to the future. So we'll see. He'll be all right.
Gene also didn't sound surprised when asked if Diddy might reach out to Donald Trump for a pardon. He said straight up that Diddy will use every resource he has to get out early, whether that's an appeal, a legal loophole, or a presidential favor.
You think Diddy should try to get a pardon from Trump?
I think that he's going to use every method, whether it's appeals, whether it's Trump. He's going to use every method he can to get out of jail earlier than what he can. He's going to use all his resources to do whatever he has to do. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what he's supposed to do. Don't you think so? He's supposed to use all his resources he can to get out of jail.
You think Trump would do it?
I don't know. Trump is a very vindictive person. And like he said, he didn't say, I used to like the guy, but he didn't say a lot of nice things to me, about me. So if it would come by, if it come by his desk and if it's something is monetary to Trump and it's his last year, but Diddy should be out before Trump last year. He only gonna do 2 years, bruh. He go 2 years, he go to a halfway house. That's it.
You think Diddy is strong enough to do 2 years?
I just told you, bruh.
Then came a surprising moment. When Gene was reminded of Diddy's emotional breakdown in court, instead of mocking it, he explained something real, that almost everyone who's never been behind bars feels the same way at first. The shock of confinement, the loss of control, it messes with even the strongest minds. Gene called it the suicidal stage, that early wave of despair before you learn how to adapt, when you realize your old life can't follow you past the gates. This is something he has previously mentioned as well, saying Diddy could well take his own life in prison.
But you knowing Diddy personally, do you think it's possible he might take his life?
It takes a certain individual to prepare himself to do a lot of years in jail. From the lifestyle that he had, I'm not saying that he can't. I just don't see him able to do time behind bars. Maybe if he be in a camp type situation, that's a possibility. But based on the lifestyle and what he's done and what he's accomplished, if he had to go behind those bars for a lot of years, I think that he may commit suicide. He do an Epstein.
Why do you think he didn't pull a Russell Simmons and leave the country?
They was watching him, bruh. They was watching him. And then I think that he had to turn over his passport. Even if you own your own private jet, they have a system up there whereas that they supposed to check your passport and anything that you need to fly as if you were flying commercial. I just got, if I could say one thing to him, in all honesty, don't drop the soap.
When Diddy does get out, what direction you think he should go in?
My personal opinion, when he get out, and if he wants to do anything that is going to give him any kind of recognition or any sense of changing, he should do whatever he learned in those rehabilitation classes with reentry, with drug treatment, with domestic violence, open up some nonprofit agencies that people can get help from, or he can use his platform for doing the right thing by people that has been wrong, whether it's in domestic violence or in drug treatment. I think he should go in that route.
What you think about Diddy complaining about the living conditions in prison?
It's prison. He's not the only one in those conditions. You got to realize there's other inmates in that dormitory that has the same and they don't have a commissary that he has. You got to realize they have a commissary and he's going to get the best out of the commissary because he's able to use all the money he got to get whatever in the commissary. And then the people around him, he can put money in their commissary, have people money in their commissary so they can get double of what they got. You understand what I'm saying?
Outside those walls, though, the story is taking a more emotional turn. Just days after the sentencing, Diddy's children broke their silence. And for the first time, the world saw their reactions. On Instagram, his kids, Christian King Combs, Chance, Justin Dior, and twins Jesse and Delilah, posted a heartfelt tribute titled, "We Love You Pops, #DiddyFree." The video wasn't flashy or edited for drama. It was intimate and personal. It showed Diddy as a father, playing with his kids when they were little, laughing at home, taking photos with fans, running the New York Marathon in 2003 to raise millions for charity.
What you've given to the world, I don't think you know, man.
When my baby cries.
You gotta give her a bottle then.
Know that you mean something to people. Know that you mean something to people. Like you live somewhere in people's heart.
My nose fell off. No, my lip fell off. Thank you. You hear it?
You inspire, you energize, and you've left that for the rest of the existence of this planet, man.
One thing about great producers is they make you want to do better and be better about what you do. And he made me feel like I could do anything and go anywhere.
From New York. I love New York. I love the city of New York. I love the children of New York. I wanted to do something good. I wanted to get my generation in the hip-hop community behind us. They come through in a big way. And we wanted to raise some money for the children of New York City for health and education. We have a huge education crisis. And, you know, this is just a start. It's something we're going to be committed to. I'm going to be committed to for a lifetime. And it's no better way than taking it to the streets. It's a beautiful city, running all around. The city's going to be painful. It's going to be rough. But, you know, if we get through it, then it'll show kids and everybody else that, you know, finish what you start and you can do anything you put your mind to. And y'all go to public school?
Yes.
Okay, y'all running to raise money for your schools. So y'all get more books and computers and stuff like that. I just feel like it's important that us, you know, young adults with power, that we look out for y'all. And we utilize our power to make sure y'all are all right in the future. Put everything you can into your work, you know. Don't think the cool thing is not to do your work. Don't think the cool thing is to hang on the corner with your friends and to talk about stuff that ain't gonna protect your future.
What did you learn about him as a man who was taking up a new sport?
Well, you know, I was actually very impressed. You know, a lot of people think it's just a celebrity stunt, that he isn't serious about his running. He is as serious about his running, has been the last 9 weeks, as a lot of these guys in the lead pack. I mean, he's really devoted and dedicated himself to running. You know, he's had some knee problems, and a lot of people don't think he's going to finish. he is going to finish, even if he has to do it on one leg, because he's raised a lot of money for kids' charities, and he's not going to let all those people down.
For his kids, that's the man they wanted the world to remember. Not the headlines, not the courtroom scenes, but the dad who worked hard, preached unity, and gave back to the community. Diddy's youngest daughters, the twins, reportedly broke down during sentencing, saying they were scared to live without both parents, their father now in prison, and their mother, Kim Porter, gone since 2018. The post struck a chord online. Fans flooded the comments with support, while critics debated whether the gesture was heartfelt or calculated. But one thing was clear: Diddy's family wasn't giving up on him despite being sad at his sentencing.
What's up, twins? Quincy, what's up, man? King Kong, hold your head, baby. King Kong, yo. Yo, King. How do you guys feel? Mom? How do you feel? How do you feel, Mom? How do you feel, Mom?
Back in court, his lawyers echoed that same sentiment, arguing that his time behind bars had already forced deep reflection. They said Diddy had become sober, remorseful, and spiritually renewed. The defense asked the judge to consider transferring him to FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey, the same low-security prison his team claimed would allow him to get treatment, rebuild ties with family, and stay on the right path. Since then, the judge has made a big decision on where Diddy goes to prison. While the judge didn't outright reject Diddy's plea, he didn't give him exactly what he wanted either. In a short but telling response written directly on his attorney's letter, Judge Subramanian made it clear that the Bureau of Prisons, not the court, would decide where Diddy ultimately serves his time. However, the judge did agree to recommend that the disgraced hip-hop mogul be housed as close as possible to the New York metropolitan area, where his family lives and where he was born. But there was one thing missing from the order: Fort Dix. It seems Judge Subramanian deliberately avoided naming the facility, a subtle but meaningful move that leaves the decision in the Bureau of Prisons' hands. It has since been alleged that Diddy is getting so anything's to go his way because he has so much blackmail material on lawmakers and politicians.
He keeping his leverage. I think Puffy got them tapes, and everybody know Puffy got them tapes. And if they don't let Puffy get off easy, or, you know what I mean, somebody gonna get f***ed up in the end. Somebody a high power. You know, all these people start dying. Noticing all these Quincy Jones, all these people start dying. Everything since Puffy happened, everybody started dying. TV Jakes all of a sudden sick. His whole crew is just getting sick or dying. You dig what I'm saying? It's cold as shit here. I'm gonna be looking like I'm gonna crack on this bitch. I keep shaking. But yeah, so, I mean, if P. Diddy beat this case, Don gotta watch her back.
His note to the defense read almost like a reminder that, celebrity or not, every inmate still has to go through the system like everyone else. There are also rumors that Diddy may actually go after the people that testified against him if he were to get out early. First and foremost of those people being Cassie.
You just finna up and act like it never happened and go get to another bitch. That ain't happening. If you think that's gonna happen, because they can't beat you up. So either they try to go to the police, or they burn the house down. You see, she testifying. She want that nigga gone, because she know if he don't go, chances are I'm dead. And it might not happen now. It's gonna be something happen in 5 or 10 years. But if Puffy beat this case, that bitch out of there. If he was smart, he'd stay the f away from him. Because, you know.
So you think if Diddy, if he beat this case, he going after Cassie?
Yeah. Well, y'all don't know Puffy. Y'all don't know Puffy. Y'all think this man's some sweet homosexual or something. Like, you costing me everything. He's a malicious person. He's had a mentality of I will not lose for so long. Anybody from the smallest, from the janitor to the CEO, if you did something he didn't like, he has got his revenge. From the janitor to the CEO in the building, He don't care how small you are, you're not gonna play Puffy. And she knows she know what I know. Everybody know. That bitch gonna have to move to the south of France. Somewhere. Everybody's scared. The ones who didn't support, the ones who thought he was burnt, they scared. They don't want to see him beat the case.
But if he doesn't get out, it seems like Donald Trump may be the only move Diddy has left.
President Trump says Sean Diddy Combs has asked him for a pardon.
I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
Combs is serving a 4-year sentence in a New York City jail on 2 prostitution-related charges. Attorneys for Combs have not commented on President Trump's remarks, but they are asking to move his sentence to a low-security federal prison in New Jersey. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer is following that story for us. Brian, you say the president could help Diddy get released without a pardon or full clemency. How so?
So it would be the other way around, that he can, in fact. The president has very broad powers in terms of clemency. Clemency being the larger umbrella where both a pardon and commutation could come up. Now, for most people, they make an application to the Office of the Pardon Attorney in the DOJ, but someone like Sean Combs could go directly to the president, or he could just simply hear of him, and he can either reduce his sentence to the point that he can get released, a commutation, or give him a full pardon.
Do you think Trump should listen to Diddy? Could he get a pardon and walk? Let us know in the comments.